Thank you for joining me on the channel Mazzaroth Tarot. This is just going to be a short reading. So yeah, if you find it and it piques your interest, go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this discussion. I was having this internal conversation, if you will, with myself. And I was thinking about Adam, right? I'm a biblical channel, spiritual channel, esoteric channel. I think they are all connected. And and I was thinking about Adam and the story of his rib, where Adam was made out of dust. And was once formless and became formed. And when he was formed as a helper to God in a place that was a garden, if you will. And there was water fountains, and there was all kind of creatures that had sprung up. There was fountains and all that good stuff. But the thing that I really wanted to talk about quickly was Adam's rib. So when I was thinking about it, I actually thought about the ribs themselves. The rib itself, it's not one rib. Well, God took out one rib, but it was like a skeleton key, if you will. But it's tied to admit that you are dead, because it said that Adam was asleep. Now, sleep in the Bible would correlate with death, or unconscious, in a suspended state, at rest, not in motion. And that's why they say that the sleep is the cousin or the relative of death. But let me think, am I reading related, gang related, blue blood, all that good shit? But I'm not talking about that. I want to just show something really quickly. Dang, I did not take a picture of it. It was the rib cage. Since I didn't actually take a picture of it, I will use it as my thumbnail. And the rib cage to me looked like either a butterfly or a spider. The thing is, it made me think of the caged bird, saying, why does the caged bird sing so gay? Or, you know, a gilded cage, so on and so forth. But the rib cage, it protects the heart and the lungs. Now, the lungs help with breathing, and the heart flutters, it beats, so on and so forth. So let's, dang, it doesn't work without the picture, but anyway, picture it. So they say that a cage, I want to show you what a cage is. I hope you guys can see that. That is a cage, right? You can also think of it as a crate, a consecrate, so on and so forth. But a cage is defined as an enclosure, a pen, a pound, a structure of bars or wires in which birds or other animals are confined. She kept a canary in a cage. The actual definition of cage, as you can see there, is a box or enclosure having some open work for confining or carrying animals such as birds. All right. So with that being said, God put Adam, I'm going to read it how it said. In Genesis 2:21-22, God put Adam into a deep sleep. God put Adam to rest, took one of his ribs. So God would have opened up his cage, not necessarily his heart. He would have opened the cage. And what God would have let out or would have created was a woman. the highest, most exalted one. I don't know if that's supposed to be Mary. I don't know who the hell that's supposed to be, but it calls it Eve. And it's a suitable helper for Adam. This event is pivotal. This event is a pivotal part of the creation narration. Okay, hold on. This event is a pivotal part of the creation narrative in Genesis, highlighting the relationship between Adam and Eve and the beginning of human marriage. Now, we know then, with the cage being opened while Adam was in rest, that his heart, aka the woman Eve, was tempted. And it was tempted by the love of, or was it the love of? It was tempted by knowledge. The brain, the devil, it was freed out of a cage. The cage being a man, or Adam, servitude, and it was freed to be a suitable helper. I doesn't know what that is. But for God to have opened up that rib cage and it looks like a butterfly, it lets out his love. Anyway, but they say blah, blah, blah. They say it has something to do with marriage, but I don't recall Adam and Eve ever being married, because the agreement was to serve God. All right. Sort of. Kind of. But it made me think of a lot of different things. It made me think of Jesus Christ, where he was trying to, the flagellation, he wanted everything holy and consecrated. So, and then it also made me think of Noah's Ark in the Bible, where Noah consecrated the birds, and he kind of opened up a cage at the end, and he let that bird out. He let out one bird, two birds. He let out these birds from a crate, and they signaled to him. They became sort of a messenger to him. They were a suitable helper for him to know if there was dry land. With Jesus, with the crates, thinking back to the beginning, and Jesus symbolizing always having the heart in his chest, Jesus would have represented one body, one flesh. He would have represented marriage or love. That image of the heart. But it has if I'm not mistaken, it has a stake in it. A nail was in Jesus' heart, not in Jesus. Well, that's the artwork that I am familiar with. That would have been brokenheartedness, yes. But it would have represented being one again with the woman. What woman? A woman that was once tempted by the devil, someone, a serpent, God, Job, I don't know. That is the energy that he would have actually, you know how I was saying Jesus never talked about, he said there was no one in the garden. But we see him representing the heart, and just going off the beginning, God opened up Adam's cage, and what came out was this beautiful counterpart, love, his wife, his heart. But they want you to believe that Eve is just his rib. That is the skeletal key to open up. That's why they say your heart flutters, it beats, it does this shit. I don't know what it does. But Jesus says, give me something. I just don't know what Hamster says, but Noah's got something goes on with rib cages as well. But Noah, in his relationship, the love of Noah was pride. Noah's pride. It had to be. It had to be. But he felt righteous in doing it because the Lord told him that he could. Screw everyone over and save those animals. I don't know. I just really wanted to show that picture. So this reading is not going to be long by any means. And of course, as I think over things, ruminate, then I come back and I try to tidy everything up and make it more unified, but or uniformed or whatever. But I did want to talk about that very quickly because I was thinking, like, I never thought about it in that context that we have an actual rib cage. It is a cage, like Nicolas Cage. And he was the skeleton key. I believe that was Nicolas Cage when he was on that damn motorcycle. But like Saint Nick is a nickname. But anyway, the thing that came out was a woman, his heart. But that got something to do with wickedness in the world, because he said it started troubling his damn heart. It started troubling his damn heart so bad that a Lord once started raining. I just don't know who the Lord of the house would be. Because somebody, I don't know who it is. But yeah, I will be back once I can think over everything, because it is pretty late or early. So Godspeed. God bless. Bye.